have probably a draw between Hikaru Nakamura
and Fabiano Caruana. All of the pieces got exchanged and we have this very symmetrical position after bishop f8, so I don't believe we'll have a winner in this game, but let's focus on the game Topalov-Karjakin, as many things actually happened. We have this position, this current position. Here after f5, g5, f4, Sergey decided to give up a pawn actually, in order to get some play on the black squares. But to be honest, I'm not quite sure it will be enough to create some problems, because now rook e7 is the threat, so black has to play queen g7. But it's a lot of weaknesses on the queen side actually, and bishop f1 will come with knight c6. It's really very risky from Karjakin. Well, at least the computer likes a lot White's position, so we will keep an eye on this. And we will move to the last game between Peter Leko and Kasim Janov, and the leader of the tournament has a pawn up now. But on the other hand, here we have this pawns pretty weak, and of course Sergey may come to attack them with, let's say, rook f8 and queen f7. Let's check the time of Sergey. "11 minutes for 10 moves. No, for 12 moves actually, not that much. We will stay, of course, on that game because Veselin Topalov just needs a draw. So here rook f8 is a threat. It's not really a threat actually on rook f8. Knight c6 can be played, so let's move the pieces a bit on the board. Knight c6, and the idea is just to take this pawn here on a6. And on a move like queen f7, then probably white will give this pawn f4 to exchange the pieces. And maybe a move like knight e2 is possible, attacking both pieces, and this is without any trouble for white. So here bishop f1, rook f, that maybe knight c6 is possible, and actually on queen f7 there will be always rook e4 protecting these three pawns. Let's see what will play Sergey Karjakin, who has less than 10 minutes for 12 moves now. Hikaru Nakamura and Fabiano Caruana should make a draw. Well, somehow Gatakamsky will be a piece down, but it might be drawish. We left the position after knight c6 should be logical from Veselin. He's still thinking, he has half an hour more on the clock. Computer is giving a +1 for Veselin Topalov, which is really a big advantage already. knight e4 played instead of knight c6. The idea of course is that after knight d5 there would be bishop c4 and then knight takes d6. The position becomes very complicated actually, but I think it's pretty good for white. Black has to defend this pawn here on d6 after knight e4. So I guess queen f8 may be the only move to defend this pawn. But then of course just knight c4. Knight c4 just taken bishop h3 still. So white has to be a bit careful after queen f8. Let's see if first Sergey will play this move. But I think white is more than okay, and queen takes h5 has been played by Kasimchanov, who found a nice trick probably to equalize. Looks like black played a move king h8, just giving away the pawn on d6. It's very hard to understand what's going on exactly now in this game. But on knight takes d6, maybe Sergey wants to exchange one pair of rook and then to play bishop takes b2, threatening bishop c3. That might be one of the ideas, but then white can check here, and if queen f7 that will be winning. Queen takes b2, putting back the diagram on here. Again here on knight d6, rook e1, bishop b2, there will be knight f7 check, and if black goes for this there will be queen takes b2, and if king h7 then just knight e5, cutting the diagonal. So I guess knight takes d6 looks pretty good for Veselin Topalov, who has half an hour against 5 minutes for Sergey Karjakin. And he took it. That looks complicated for Sergey, who played just rook f8. So now it's already 2 pawns up for white. Let's see what the time left exactly. I mean here for example, if white wants to play safe, knight ac4 may come. 4 minutes 27. Yeah, it's 2 pawns up. I think just knight ac4 and then knight e5 looks pretty good. Still there might be knight takes d5, so how to play exactly here for white. It would be logical to bring back this knight in the action. So knight ac4, knight d5, it's just 1 pawn down, but then knight e5, and still I think black can take the pawn on f4. looks very close to be winning, but it's not. Looks very close to be winning for white this position. Again, we have this here. Rook f8 played. On bishop c4 there will be bishop h3, so the bishop has to stay on f1. The threat now is just to take this pawn on d5. I guess knight c4, knight d5, knight e5 is possible, and on knight a4 now, let's see. Computer is just showing rook e4 here, and on knight d5, knight b3 actually, with a decisive advantage for white, and just the bishop will fall. It's not that easy to see. Rook e4. And in the meantime, Hikaru Nakamura is not giving the draw that easily. Keeps on pushing his pawns here on the king side. But that shouldn't be enough, to be honest, because it's two less pieces on the board. So we will stay with Veselin Topalov, who looks like has a winning advantage against Sergey Karjakin, which means he could even increase his lead. He is still thinking. Yeah, rook e4 and knight b3 looks very convincing for white actually. I don't believe Peter Leko will succeed to win. What played Veselin? Rook e4. The good move, the right move. While Veselin is such in a good shape here that I think the Bulgarian player is on the way of winning this game. Very impressive play since the beginning of the tournament from Veselin Topalov so far. So again the idea that after knight takes d5, just knight b3. That looks very difficult to play for Sergey now with 2 pawns down. Well, knight b3 is just a threat in fact. Taking the bishop on d4. Getting rid of the most powerful piece on the board. And of course, if Veselin wins this game, he is clear first. Even a draw is enough, in fact. 2 minutes 30 left for Sergey Karjakin, who is still thinking, but to be honest, the position looks hopeless. It was a very interesting game, but at one point Sergey I think just pushed too much with f5, f4. It was too optimistic from black, and now white has a very solid position with this pawns, and it looks really completely winning now. So if bishop takes b2, just knight c6 will come. With knight e7, all the pieces are coming on the white's side, and I think that in the game between Kasimdzhanov and Leko, well, Kasimdzhanov found an incredible resource and looks like he's on his way to hold the game, because now rook g6 is coming. You see on the board rook g6 will come now, and after rook a7 just taking the queen, sorry, and there will be some repetition. Yeah, rook g6 played, and on rook a7 just take, and the queen will give thousands of checks. I don't believe white can escape this incredible resource by Kasimdzhanov. So we go back to the game of the leader Veselin Topalov, who is on his way of winning again. Knight d5 played, and now the computer was just showing knight b3, which actually makes sense. Just getting rid of this bishop d4, and that's it. Hikaru Nakamura is still playing on this position. On knight d7, I think he just played king f2. I first played actually bishop c7, and on g6, king f2. It's still a bit better for white, this position, due to this space here, and maybe one day e4 will come. We'll stay with the game of Topalov, the leader of the tournament. We are still in time trouble, and I think here I'll show you the board. After knight b3, taking the bishop and the pawn, it's very difficult to defend for Sergey. Less than 2 minutes for 8 moves also for Sergey. In fact, white has other tricky ideas with f5. The idea after bishop a5, rook h4 check. There might be some bishop c4 coming now as well, which is very tempting actually. But still bishop e6 is holding. Knight b3 looks completely winning. He played knight b3, bishop c6 now. Well, I guess just knight takes d4 will come. I don't see why knight takes d4 wouldn't be possible. I think it's just over after pawn takes d4. Rook d4 is still 2 pawns up, plus the pawn a6, very weak. Of course also f5 now is possible, and pawn takes check and take everything. Maybe even more winning actually, with bishop c4 to follow. Veselin Topalov is showing a fantastic play here in this tournament. And is on his way for a 5th victory for 0 defeat. It's quite impressive against such a strong field actually. Let's see how Veselin will try to finish this game. But even take and even exchanging the queens. Still knight f4, why to give this opportunity? No, he's playing f5, he's playing really the most accurate move. He's playing like a machine here. So again, on pawn takes f5 there will be check and just take the bishop, and rook d4, still 2 pawns up and bishop c4 will come. Yeah, and that's over. Let's see what the time left. Less than a minute for 5 moves. Just a winning position for Veselin. Yeah, she is going for this line. Now rook takes d4 simply followed by bishop c4, or even bishop c4 directly. Yeah, he played it. There's nothing much to be done here. And now rook takes d4 will come. It will be move 40. And on queen d6, just bishop d5, and it's 2 pawns up and winning position for white. So again, I'll show you the line. Yeah, we have this position on the board. Actually, it took on d4 with the queen here. Queen d6 played. And there should be some mate. Just rook h6, simply rook h6. Yeah, followed by rook takes c6, and Sergey here will probably resign. Well, Veselin just played like the computer the last 10-15 moves. Impressive from the Bulgarian Grandmaster. And that's over. Rook e6 to follow, and just taking and winning the queen. So Sergey will resign here. Now still plays queen e7, but then white can just win the queen like that. I'm sure there is even a better possibility here. Everything is winning. The most accurate is just to take on d5 and to check again. It's over. A very impressive game from Veselin Topalov, who is winning alone this tournament and who is also going to be very close from 2800 rating. He won almost 20 points before this game, so yeah, he will win around 20 points in this tournament, putting him at least over 2790 for sure. So again here just bishop d5. Yeah, played bishop d5. We have reached move 40, but now just check. And check, and it's finished. Well played, Veselin. Congratulations for this tournament, and we will have the press conference with the winner of this third Grand Prix here in Zug. Stay with us.